Hey everyone, I know it's been a while, but because of recent events, I wanted to make this video. Before we go any further, I have a disclaimer. This video may contain triggers and includes talks of suicide. If you're suicidal or are having thoughts of suicide, please contact 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. If you're a veteran or you're active duty military, guard, or reserve, you can call the same number and you can press 1 once you've been connected. In this day and age, sometimes it's easier to text. You can also text 838-255. Recently, a report has come out about a spike in suicide rates in the United States Air Force. I'm not concerned about numbers because one suicide is too much. I've made text posts about suicide in the past on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, without much attention. That's okay. Sometimes it's hard to read things. Sometimes you just scroll right past it. So I'm here to try this again. You don't need to look at the screen. You don't even need to be on this video. All I need is for you to hear me. This video may make you uncomfortable, but it needs to be made. This video makes me uncomfortable, but it needs to be made. Suicide is not and will never be a comfortable topic, nor should it be. Suicide. How could somebody just take their life when everything seems great? They're the one at work, smiling, laughing, having a good time. They're next to you, in the bar, drinking with you, laughing, having a good time. They're the new person at work who seems to have everything together. They have family, friends, all of that. Suicide doesn't have a face. Suicide can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. So we need to ask the tough questions, because we never know what goes on behind closed doors. We only know what people try to show us. Sometimes people are too embarrassed or ashamed to admit that they're having a hard time. Some people feel like they're supposed to be the ones to go to. They're supposed to be the ones that don't have those emotions. So we need to ask those tough questions. Are you suicidal? How are you today? If there's any answer other than good, it only takes a few seconds to ask what's going on. To find out how somebody really is, there's no time limit on that, no matter how busy you are. They're always important. Your people are always important, and that's very important to know. I can't speak for the people who have committed suicide or the people that are going to commit suicide. Unfortunately, this is something that's always going to happen and always has happened. All I can speak for is myself. But there's one thing that I can speak for everyone. If you are looking for a reason to live, if you're looking for a reason to keep going, this is it. I want you to know that this is your sign to keep going. I know when I was going through a tough time, sometimes I'd go through YouTube and I'd look for videos to give myself that motivation to keep going. And eventually I found it. Maybe people don't have that drive, and that's why we need to ask the tough questions. That's why we need to care about our fellow human. For me, it's near and dear because everybody in the military is family to me. Air Force, Army, Marines, Navy, Coast Guard. You're all my family. One suicide across the board is too much. Please reach out. I can't stress it enough. It's our job to care about each other. Sometimes the mission may seem that it needs to happen, but the mission can't happen without you. Remember that. Find something to keep you moving. Find something to stay motivated. What I always did is I would tell myself, tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will be better. And eventually, tomorrow will be better. It took me a long time for my tomorrow to get better, but telling myself that tomorrow would be better, it finally was better, and it gave me that drive for the next time that I was struggling. Maybe it doesn't seem like it. Maybe I don't seem like the person who, would be suicidal, or has been suicidal, or has been affected by suicide. Unfortunately, I have. When I joined the Air Force, everything was good. I had a purpose. Everything was great. I got stationed at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada. Great place to be, Why wouldn't it be? You're in Las Vegas. It wasn't where I was. It wasn't really who I was around. It was what happened. And this could have happened to anybody. There was an accident at work and I hurt myself badly. And I was in a lot of pain for a year. And I kept working, and the people around me told me I was fine, everything was fine, I would be fine. And then eventually the pain got to be so much that I was vomiting, I was passing out, and eventually I had to be seen by a doctor. And they pretty much told me I destroyed my shoulder. They put me on opiates, one pill every 2 hours every day for 6 months. I was literally waking up to take pain medication. I ended up developing an addiction. 6 months later, I went to refill my prescription, and they told me I shouldn't have been on opiates for as long as I was, and they just didn't fill my prescription. I was hearing things, seeing things, and feeling things that I hope nobody else feels. I ended up having to take leave. I was alone. I didn't feel like I could talk to anybody. I felt like nobody would understand. I was ashamed at what I was feeling. eventually, it all became too much for me, and suicide really became an option for me. Unfortunately, it becomes an option for a lot of people. I was just about ready to call it quits. I really was. And I can't remember what song it was. I can't remember why. But a song came on and kind of snapped me out of it. And I remembered tomorrow will be better. And it took about 8 months of saying tomorrow will be better for it to get better. The doctors told me that I'd never be able to lift weight over my head. I'd never be able to lift weight, period. And, you know, that really killed me. It basically meant that when I have children, if I have children, I would never be able to play with them. I would never be able to make those memories that are so important. I would never be able to have fun again. And I knew that I was going to be in pain for the rest of my life, and that just really put me on the edge. Like I said, eventually, tomorrow did get better. And then one day, I fell off a jet and basically ruined all of the work that the surgeon did. I was already in pain. That wasn't a problem. The problem was the fact that I just spent the last year recovering from one of the worst moments in my life. And I would have to go through it all over again. So I went through it all over again. I got to the hospital and I got my surgery. And at the end of both surgeries, I ended up losing about 75% of the feeling in most of my left arm, which is still like that today. I was right back at square one. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't even know that I was going to stay in the military. It was a very scary time for me. I've learned to live with the feeling loss. I've learned to function with the feeling loss. But it took a year of tomorrow will get better in order to cope with that. I ended up drinking more than I should to cope with the pain, because I refused to take pain medication because I didn't want to go down that path again. I was legitimately afraid that if I went down that path again, I wouldn't be here today giving this message to you. I was afraid that the voices that I heard during withdrawals would take me. I didn't think that I could get to the edge again and be able to pull myself back. So I coped with alcohol, and you know, I shouldn't have. And my supervision told me, if you don't cool it, you know, there's going to be things happening. Because I spoke about it openly, that I was drinking copious amounts of alcohol. Eventually I ended up being stationed in Korea. And you know, I don't know what clicked, but I started going to the gym. I met my trainer, and I ended up going to the gym. I found something that gave me purpose again. And eventually I said, I don't think I'll be able to lift this over my head. It hurts too much. And he told me that he thinks that my inability to lift the weight over my head was in my head. And I took that to heart. And I said, I don't care what my brain tells me. I'm going to lift this weight over my head. And eventually I did. I pushed past the fear of hurting my shoulder again, and I lifted that weight above my head. And now I'm in the gym 5 to 6 days a week. My mental health has never been better. My physical health has never been better. My self-esteem has never been better. I'm more sure of myself. I hope that each and every one of you, when you go through a hard time, you will go through a hard time. But I hope that when each and every one of you does, you find something like I did. You find something to keep you moving. Keep yourself moving forward. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. Maybe it's drawing or painting or writing or hiking or making videos. Anything. It can be anything that pulls you back from the edge. It's hard for me to imagine that I was there. I don't want any of you to ever be there. Don't be ashamed or afraid to ask for help. Don't make the mistake that I did. I have a great support system. There may not be many, but what my support system lacks in numbers, it makes up for in passion. So find that support system. Nothing is ever worth everything. Remember that. Your life is worth everything. Despite how you may feel right now, tomorrow will be better. And if tomorrow isn't better, watch this video again. Eventually tomorrow will be better. Eventually you'll find something that will motivate you. Eventually you'll find something to pull you back from the edge, whether that be a person, a place, an activity, anything. Remember that there are people to help you. Remember that there are people that care about you. Even though you may feel like a burden now, tell them that you need help. I promise you, you're not a burden. People care about you, and when you need help, somebody will be there. Suicide is never a comfortable topic. Like I said, it never will be. But the only way to fight suicide is head on. This video is hard for me to make, and it's hard for anybody to talk about their personal problems. But I'm hoping that by knowing that I pushed through my problems, maybe you can too. I just want this problem to be fixed. I don't want to lose any more brothers and sisters. I don't want to lose any family. I don't want to lose any friends. And every time that I hear about a young person that doesn't feel like they have anything to live for, it hurts. Anytime I hear about a parent, a son, a daughter, an aunt, an uncle thinking that they don't have any other option but to take their own life, that hurts. We need to end this now. We need to do whatever we can to show the people around us that we care. Maybe you're watching this and you're not suicidal. You're the person that needs to help those that are suicidal. And if you're watching this and you are suicidal, reach out. Please, please reach out. Whether it's texting 838-255 or calling 1-800-273-TALK. Whatever it is, please help each other. Ask for help. There's no reason that more people need to die in order for us to realize that there's a problem. Find a solution, everyone. Hopefully we can end this.